Hey, y'all, welcome to another episode of Girl, Is That Legal? With your host, attorney Simone Redwine. So, as you can see, I don't have my drink is all in the camera. I don't have my normal background. That's because Centerpoint Energy wants to play in our faces. I'm based in Houston, and Centerpoint wants to, charge everyone for electricity that they don't provide. So I'm actually taking refuge in Dallas, where I'm from. And so today's episode is actually going to be a new thing that I'm rolling out. I think I'm gonna call it Sunday service. If you have any other suggestions of what we should call it, but it'll be a Sunday call-in episode where you can call in with your legal question. And we've got a disclaimer that's running through the bottom, but the gist is we'll talk it through together. Now, with the disclaimer and everything, I want to be clear. I'm not your lawyer, although I could be for a fee. But as not being your lawyer, what you're going to receive here is this is for entertainment purposes only. We're going to talk about what your issue is. We're going to talk about some potential strategies. But in the end, you always want to consult with an attorney in your state who can review your specific facts without the time limitations of our show. So tune in. I hope you enjoy it. And if we have time at the end, I'm going to drop the link where more people can join. As well as towards the end, we're going to talk about y'all little presidential candidate, Mr. Hot Cheetos himself, was allegedly survived an assassination attempt. I want to get y'all's thoughts. So I'm going to drop the link. I want y'all to drop in, call in, and give us your thoughts. Do you think it was real? Do you think it was fake? Do you think it was staged? And how do you think, if at all, it's going to impact the election? So without further ado, we've got our first caller who's going to be Jay. All right. So Jay, thanks for joining us today, Jay. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Thank you for supporting my first episode of Sunday Service. And by service, it's referring to, as lawyers, every year we are expected to give, in my state, it's at least 15 hours of pro bono service. So somebody made a raggedy comment to something another I was commenting on this week. And was like, what pro bono service do you even do? And I'm like, actually quite a bit. But since you want to play, and because I love my channel and I love the growth and I love working with you guys, we don't have a caller in. So Jay actually hit me up yesterday with the legal question. So Jay, I'm going to set this up and then we're going to get into it. So the gist of it is Jay wanted his car wrapped with a particular design, reached out to an entity that specializes in doing that type of thing. And in exchange, the transaction was supposed to be, in exchange for the car wrap, he wasn't paying cash, but he was trading in a go-kart that he had. That go-kart was valued at approximately $6,000. That's what you paid for it. And in exchange, because the wrap actually cost a bit less, you were supposed to actually receive $500 at the end of this. Is that correct, Jay?
Correct.
But one of the issues that has come about is that this company that was supposed to finish the wrapping initially in approximately 4 days, when you went up there, it was like 5 to 7 days. And after like 10 days, still didn't have it done. Is that correct?
11 days, actually, but yeah.
11 days, they still didn't have it done. And now, where are you at and what are you seeking? So first, let's start with, what is it that you want? If you could have your dream result, how much money would you want them to have to give you to make you whole at this point? And then we're going to get into the facts.
Well, at this point, I want everything.
Okay, how much is that? 5,000, 10,000. What are we talking?
So I'm thinking like 15 to 20.
Okay, 15 to 20K. How'd you come up with that amount?
Well, because now I'm gonna have to. I've already kind of done some of the research. It's gonna take money to take the existing wrap off.
All right, about how much?
I forget the actual numbers. But it was approximately probably about 6,000.
6K to remove the current wrap and put on a correct one, or just
the correct way? Yes.
Okay, remove and a new one. I wish you had photos. Do you have any photos you could? Are you on your phone? Text me a photo of it.
Actually, I got it right here.
Okay, see if you
can. Video. I don't have photos, but I can.
Oh, even better. Okay, see if you can send that to me. But to remove and renew is going to be about 5K. I mean 6K. What else?
The window tint. The front and rear window was installed poorly. There's hair and dust under. I got my entire windshield tinted.
Okay, so you
Which
need
I
the
have a
window
letter to
tint
get it legally
redone.
tinted. I'm sorry.
You had it legally tinted before. You need it
Mhm.
redone, correct?
No. They did it poorly, so they need to pay to have it redone. You know.
All right, how much is
And,
that going to cost? Because we're not going
for the
back to them
front,
no more.
no, heck no. I would be a fool to let them back in my vehicle.
Exactly.
Yeah. So no, I got a quote for just the front and rear windows. I haven't inspected the other windows.
No, we're not doing just.
Okay.
Let's go
Well,
ahead and
for the
do it.
whole thing, it's over $1,000 to do them all.
All right, that's 1,000. What else? Because you're saying 15K. How are we getting there?
They damaged my radio.
How was that?
I don't know, but there's like in the corners of both the top two corners of the screen on my radio. It's got like almost look like a bubble or something behind the screen.
Okay, and what do you want for that?
And that's $2,000 to replace.
All right.
And
Anything
that's
else?
to deal with it. The stress and the BS that I had. Oh, I take that back. No, the rental. I had the rental for an extra week. I don't remember exactly what that price was, but if I had to guess, it's probably about 500.
All right, we got 500 for that.
And
for
then
the extra rental.
And then all the stress they put me through of the not answering my calls, not calling me back, not letting me know what's going on while they had my car. This is why they had my car. And then once I got my car back, all of that.
Okay, so everything you've already discussed is 6 plus 1 is 7, 8, 9, 9,500. Okay, and then you're saying the stress. Anything else?
That's all I can think of right off the top of my head.
All right, so let's get into it. So you initially called me to see if I would take your case or if one of my peers that is part of my referral team, I would send it to. For this one, I'm going to say, I'm not going to take your money. I would rather teach you how to handle this yourself.
Okay.
Specifically, because of the dollar amount that we're talking about, you should go to small claims court in Texas. Have you considered small claims court?
Well, no, because from what I've been told, the limit is like 5,000, and I'm above that. So,
you're right. In most states, it's 5. Texas law increased it in 2021. It was September of 21. It actually increased to $20,000. So you're going to be all right. Yes, it will be 20,000. And here's the better part. In Texas, now, if you want to get an attorney, that's cool, because Texas has a law that says where it's breach of contract and you win, you're also entitled to your lawyer's fees. So that means in this situation, you guys had a contract. Oral contracts count, especially when it speaks to things such as this: services, exchanges, whatever. Now, I'm going to assume you guys probably didn't have all this in writing, correct?
There's some stuff in writing. Now, they did make an offer. I went up there and I met with them last week. They made an offer. So basically, they're admitting fault.
Okay, what's their offer?
$2,350, I think, is what they offered me, and I obviously didn't accept that.
Okay, now hold on. Now, Tan, this popped in your feed. So here's what's going on. We got Jay here. Jay took his car to a car detail place to get his car wrapped. And the issue is that they did a horrible job. They actually have not even finished it. It's been more than 11 days. And he traded in his go-kart that he paid $6,000 for to get this done. And they were actually supposed to give him $500 when it was all said and done. Instead, not only does he not have the car wrapped, he's got these different issues. He's coming here to find out, should he hire a lawyer or should he handle it himself? And so what we are walking through is what's he entitled to for this claim and how he can actually handle it himself and probably make more than a lawyer might be able to get him. So thanks for asking, Tam. So where you are with this, go ahead, Jay.
Well,
I
just sent that video to you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Let's see if I can pull it from the phone as we're talking. But so yeah, we've got the bad rap on the car. Hey, Etha, we've got some people that have just popped in. We actually have here we go. I'm the shit. I'm the shit is saying you should go for punitive damages. So punitive damages are for when someone has intentionally or maliciously messed up your vehicle or something like that in this. So we're going to get some more facts. I don't know if punitive damages fit here, but from all the breakdowns that you have, you want 6,000 for them to remove it and have somebody else do it right, have a new company remove and do it right. $1,000 to correct the window tint that they done messed up. Another $2K because they done messed up around the radio. $500 for rental expenses. Here's what I want to be clear. Rental expenses are called loss of use. We're going to talk about that. And then all of that totals up about $9,500, but you'd also like something for your pain and suffering and your stress. Now, of all the things you discussed, probably the most challenging one to get is going to be the pain and suffering for your stress, right? Because when you're dealing with contracts, for pain and suffering, that has to be something deliberate with respect to something that they've done to you. So when you're dealing with breach of contract, you generally can't get that. But instead, what's good to get and try and get for your compensation would be something like if there was missed time from work because you had to go up from there. You can use time like that and try and get that money. Missed time from doing this, that, because that's like a loss of profits, right? Also, loss of use is one of the biggest things. Now, you had a rental car, correct?
I did for a portion of that time. A portion of that time.
Here's the thing. You want to go for loss of use. Baby, let me tell you about loss of use. Loss of use is one of the most underutilized ways to get money if you're in a car accident that wasn't your fault or any car related situation. I'm gonna find a check and I'm gonna post it for y'all. I'm gonna post it for y'all under my community post. My car was totaled by a valet driver who allegedly had a seizure. I don't care. Usually, if they have a medical emergency or a seizure in your car, it has to be covered under your comprehensive, which can make your insurance go up, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't playing with these people because I did a background check on the valet driver and I found out that this idiot had no license. He shouldn't have been valet parking my car in the first place. He had no license because it had been suspended for the last 6 months because he had been drunk driving and caught a DUI. Now, for my loss of use, I had to go do the runaround with these people for like 255 days. I had a drop top BMW convertible at the time. When I was done and done with these people, I had them give me $25,000 for loss of use. Here's what you're entitled to. Most people don't know. Loss of use when your car is messed up. Most times you go get a rental car, it's like that $30 rental car, right? It's that base level because you're not trying to spend a lot of money. But what type of car did you actually have that you were getting wrapped?
It's a Volkswagen Passat.
Okay. And what year?
2016.
Okay, 2016. So what I did in my situation was I actually went to Turo, Turo. Turo is where you can rent, other people's cars. It's kind of like Airbnb, but for cars. Right. So if you want to get a lot of money for loss of use, what you need to do, go to Turo and say, what about a wrap vehicle that has these features? More than likely, it would be more than $30 a day. But either way, you should ask these people for $30 a day for every day you are out of your vehicle, as well as the amount of time it's going to take for your vehicle to get corrected by these other people. That could be a month. 30 days at $30. What's that? $3,000? $900? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Like $900. Sorry. Yeah, it's a lot more. Yeah. In my situation, when my car got totaled, what I did was I went on Turo. I found my same drop top BMW my same year. That car rented for $120 a day. Multiply that bad boy by the 220 some days that they did not settle my claim. Oh, baby, we had a big, long, tall number that we were working with. And then in turn, I ended up resolving it and settling it and, receiving like $25K. I was fine with compromising for that. So I just say, if you're ever in a car accident, just know you are entitled, either a car accident or a situation like this where they mess up your car, you're entitled to an equivalent rental, not just whatever $30 or whatever's available. All right. Then the other thing you got is right now, they're only offering you $3K. What's the basis of the $3K they're offering you?
Not actually 3. It's actually 2300, 2350 to be exact. And so this is what he said. He was like, look, since you don't want us to be to be in your vehicle or touch your vehicle anymore, we'll give you the 2350. And
how'd they come up with 2350 though?
Your guess is better than mine. I haven't a clue. I
Because
don't know where.
part of the
He's just trying
transaction.
to give me what was owed to me, I think.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Go ahead and go on over to, I say go on over to small claims court. Here's why. And then with small claims, you want to ask them to expedite your matter. The reason why is because when you do small claims court with a business, you want to sue both the business and the owner of the business. You want to do both of it. The beauty of small claims court is when you watch Judge Judy, that's small claims court. It is expected that you don't have an attorney. So don't feel pressured to hire one. In this situation, attorney is likely going to be a minimum $25,000 to $5,000. And you don't even know, like when you win, you don't know how long it's going to take to get paid. So I think a better use of your time would be to go ahead. And with small claims court, what you do is you're going to fill out, here we go, precinct. Let me get my favorite precinct. Precinct 1 place 2. I'm going to see if I can share with you. You're going to fill out, you're going to go to their website, and they generally have, what do you call it? They have templates. You're going to fill out one of their templates. I'll see if I see any. Ooh. Oh, here we go. Let me share it. This is Houston County. Here we go. And Michael, we're coming to you soon. Here we go. So what we're dealing with, this is a situation where Jay went to get his car wrapped. These people did a horrible job. They didn't give the car back. They never even finished. Now, ordinarily, I would say, y'all, just dispute it on your credit card. That's what your credit cards are for. And that's why whenever you are getting a service performed, you really want to use a credit card. But here, what made it tricky is he did a form of a trade. He traded in a go-kart that he owned that was valued at $6,000. And the services he was supposed to receive were worth about $5,500. So he was actually supposed to get money back. When you do that and someone's performing a service, they actually have less incentive to get the work done. These mofos actually already sold his golf cart and made $4,000. So they've actually already been paid on this transaction. What I'm showing you here is if you're going to do small claims court, what you do is you find out what is your county precinct for. You want to use the precinct for the defendant. So you can literally call up and say, this is the address of the business I'm trying to sue. Is this the correct precinct? They'll tell you yes or no. And then you're going to go here, downloadable forms. We got driving safety, nope. Traffic ticket, no. Criminal, nope. Eviction, nope. Cash bond, appeal, and then more. We're going to hit more. And what we want is the petition. We want a petition for, there we go, small claims cases. And this would be filing a debt claim. That would be closed. Small claim suit. That's it. The petition, the filing fees, they got all this stuff here. Sometimes I'll have a link to actually have the petition at the bottom. Hold on. These are the rules that you need to know. And then here we go. On this one, this is the information, downloadable forms. Forms for traffic, criminal, civil. Here we go. This is the answer. Here it is. Civil demand for a jury. You're probably going to go ahead. You want to just ask for a jury claim, but this is all this justice court petition. You can use that one too, but civil demand for a jury. You can use this one. And look, it's real simple. Y'all see that? One page. Oh, wait, sorry. This is the jury one. Hold on. You want to add that later. You actually want to use, it is not default judgment. Debt claim, civil demand for jury, civil return. It is the civil affidavit certificate, not certificate of service. Civil case appeal, return. Debt claim, because they do owe you. So you could put, oh, here we go. Justice court petition. This is it. So this is it. You would put your name in here, defendant there, the precinct. Plaintiff here, describe the legal nature of, literally, this is what you would fill out, okay? The nature of the claim, you would say here is that so-and-so company was supposed to wrap my car. They never completed it. They did a horrible job. They caused damage. This is, you put in their address, the nature of the defendants. They're a business here, and you're going to sue them personally too. So you put business and personal. Defendant may be served by serving. You put their address here. Here's where you give more information. But as you see here, it's a very simple one-page form. You see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions generally about just the process of filing suit? And then I'm going to give you another tip.
I mean, just the whole thing, just in its entirety, it just seems overwhelming. But because I've never done anything like this before. Usually, I'm pretty decent with communicating with people, so usually I can have a conversation with level-headed type people and get to the bottom of things. So.
Absolutely. So here's what I recommend. And I've done this both as an attorney and in my personal life that works really good. Fill this out, what I'm showing you, to the best of your abilities. And then you send it over with a certified letter, with tracking. The certified letter should say, listen, I was really trying to resolve this amicably, but you guys are not being reasonable and I'm at my wit's end. I have attached this petition that if you're unwilling to settle this with me and say, I'm looking to settle this for this amount. So if you want it to be like right now, what I've added up for you right now is $9,500. Mm-hmm. So if you want it to be, let's say you want it to be 10,000. 10,000 based on the following breakdown, you would be willing to work with them with payment plans, but they need to confirm that they're going to give you this by this date. Otherwise, you will be filing this in the county records. Those letters with the actual completed petition can get you a lot further. Why? Because they see you've taken the step to do everything that's needed to sue them short of filing it. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And secondly, have you ever considered going on like the Judge Mathis show or Judge Judy or something regarding this?
No, I like my time spent behind the camera, not in front.
You are very behind it. But here's why I want you to consider it. One, I have some connections that might be able to help you get your petition heard. But what many people don't realize is that when you go on those shows, you're guaranteed to get paid. Did you realize that?
No, I didn't.
How it works is this. If it's in another destination, they fly you to that destination, both sides, right? Now, both sides do have to agree to go on the show, but they fly the both of you. They hear your case. When they find that you won, they pay you the money the other side earns. So you're guaranteed to get paid. So that's why a lot of people are willing to go on that show. Now, if they find that you're not entitled to that money, or maybe you're not entitled to that much, they give you what you are entitled to. But it's win-win in that at least you get a vacation to LA, Chicago, wherever they film the show. Right. But unlike not going, you are guaranteed to get your money versus when you win in Dallas County or Tarrant County, small claims court, you still have to go through the second process of like trying to collect. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So given that you've not done anything wrong, like I can totally understand you being like, I don't want to be on TV. If let's say maybe you're suing someone or getting sued related to your performance of services, you may not want to do it. Now, this company may be like, oh no, we don't want to be on TV. We don't want people to know our business name, whatever, that's their business. But I just wanted to put that little nugget in the back of your mind so that you were aware that small claims, if by going on these judge shows, gives you guaranteed form of payment. And you don't even have to lose money by showing up. So something to consider. So when we wrap up here, after the show, I'm going to get you because I think yours is actually Tarrant County. Is that right?
No.
Okay.
I live in Kaufman County, but yeah, but I think that's Dallas County where they're at.
Okay, Dallas. Well, whatever. I can get you one for the appropriate county if you want it. And then I'm going to look and see about, so what's tricky is there aren't a lot of firms that do small claims, that represent people in small claims for this, but I do know of one that I'm aware of that will help you prepare your petition for small claims. So I think that's what you might need if you want to go this route. So would you like for me to share those services with you when we're done?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you have any final questions for us?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay. Let me see if anyone in the chat had any questions. Also, you can add pages to explain any and all information important. That's right. You can do essentials. Yep. Any of that. Aim, top dollar, and sue. Yeah, you want to get the top entity. But the main thing you want to remember is don't just sue the business. You want to find out who the owner is and sue
I
him
know
to
who the owner is.
good. You want to sue everybody. And here's why. Because if he owns a home or anything like that, baby, he cannot sell his house. He cannot refinance his house. He cannot do anything until he runs you your money once you win in court. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Jay. Thanks for joining
Yeah.
us. And I appreciate you calling in on my first episode. All right,
Yes,
Michael,
ma'am.
are you ready? All right,
Yes,
let's
I
see.
am. Hey, how's it going?
All right. Good, good. Okay. Winning and collecting the money. Yes. The classic one says winning and collecting money are two different things. With some people, it's hard to collect. I'm also going to drop in the chat. I'm going to drop the link if anyone else wants to call in. You do not have to show your photo if you don't want to. It's up to you. And then just when you type your name on your avatar, you can use an anonymous something. All right, but we'll take one more after Michael if we have someone else that wants to hop in, because I know yesterday or the day before when I went live, we had a few. All right, so Michael, I'm going to kind of set up my understanding of what your issue is. So we spoke a little bit behind the scenes beforehand. So Michael was in a joint venture with another company that was related to sports broadcasting. Michael had recorded the sports broadcasting for a number of prior sporting events, but you have not been paid for all of them. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Right. And so you were also, pursuant to the contract, going to be given a percentage of shares in the business. Is that right?
Correct.
All right. And are you sure that you've received all the shares that you're entitled to?
I have not received the shares.
Got you. You haven't gotten that. And those shares are valued at approximately what?
250,000.
Okay. Okay. 250. And then there's also an amount for the amount that you've been unpaid for what you already recorded, but then there are also future recordings. So tell me, the amount that you've already recorded and been unpaid for is approximately how much? Is it 20K?
I went back and looked at the numbers for the month of June. The contract said 37,000, and I only received 5,000 for
Tell
the
me what
month of.
you're unpaid.
So for the
For the
month of
work you've already done, how much have you been unpaid?
for the work that I've already done for the month of June, I'm entitled to 32,000.
Nope. I want to
Okay.
know for all of it, not
Oh,
just
all of it. Oh,
from what day did you start your contract? Oh yeah, y'all.
so
I'm like real. So y'all, this is how I do my consultation with my client. I'm like, okay, give it to me. All right. So for the whole thing, I want you to tell me how much do you feel you've been unpaid?
okay, I'm adding it up now.
All right, take your time.
And so for where we are at this current moment,
Of the work you've done. So we're not including work that you were contracted to do and haven't done yet. That's different. I want to talk about
gotcha.
the work you've already done.
So as of right now, unpaid work per June and July is 72,000.
Ooh. Okay. Why did you let it go that far?
A couple of reasons. We had back-to-back shows, and we was building the team up. We was getting everything done, and he spoke very comfortably. I try to be strongly pro-black, so I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. And then he paid for expenses like travel, paid the team and things of that nature. And he kept
Okay,
saying,
so
"Hey,
you got to go places, and by him making those expenditures, you felt like, okay, we got to have some money somewhere to be doing all this, huh?
correct." And what really, got me thinking was there was a press release came out about 3 weeks ago that he had just received another funding of $3 million. So at that point, I'm like, okay, well now I know you have the money. Why won't you go on and make good on my stuff? Oh yeah, we're gonna get it. I gotta go to Switzerland and get some stuff done, but when we come back, I'll take care of you. Okay, cool. But
Switzerland.
me,
Oh, was this
yeah.
Simon? Was this Portia's husband, Simon? Because we know that gentleman be scamming.
Well, yeah, it wasn't Simon, but he probably close to it.
Okay.
And after a while, it's like I just said, okay, enough. July the 6th is when I finally said enough. He came to Dallas in DeSoto. We did the event, and I approached him face to face and said, could you send me my money right now? And I said,
No,
my
that's
rule is three. After I ask you three times, I'm going to consider that you're maliciously just avoiding me, and I'm done with it.
right.
And then I documented all three times. I got all three letters, all three text messages, all three invoices. I went to the president of the company because he's the owner of the company, confirmed it with the president, and the president said, "Well, he haven't paid me either." So I got the president to do his writing. I went to all the film crew, same thing. They have received partial payments, and that's
Right.
when I said, "Okay." So I
Oh
got
yeah.
upset, and I typically when I get upset, I just step back and I start putting pen to paper and recordings down.
I understand. Yeah, the way my anger is set up, I've got 0, 50, and felony. So when I get that 50, I gotta watch out because I'm about to commit a felony now. I got this
Right,
law license, that I'm
right.
still paying on, so I can't get that felony because then I'm gonna have all kind of problems. But Michael, before you got into business with this person, did you do a background check?
I did not. He was referred to me by a very respectful mutual friend that I had been working with for a while. And he
And
said,
how
"Oh man,
okay, that mutual friend, how much business did that mutual friend do with him?
per the conversation, he was a great guy. They have worked together
What
previously."
the hell does that mean?
I
I
know.
got
I
an
got
ex-boyfriend that somebody would say is a great guy, and he called the police on me. Ain't nothing great about that. Michael,
right,
right
right.
now, text me this man's name. I'm going to run a background check on him because I have a feeling you are not the only unpaid person that he is dealing with, Michael.
Well, put the team that we have right now, I know for definite sure we are not. I know of three other people that you've done the same thing with. And what's the biggest kicker is he plays the black card. And I told him, I said, you know,
Now,
what's
what's that in this context? Oh yeah, y'all.
he
I mean, anybody who knows me knows I'm black, but please be very clear. I'm not mixed. I'm not Asian. All of those things. If that's your plight, if that's your life, that's fine. My parents are black. I'm black. Proceed.
Yeah, the black card is, oh, brother, we supporting black owned businesses, that type of spiel. Because he knows I try to center my business around supporting black company because there is no exclusively black owned and operated broadcasting network for combat sports. It's all
Got it.
intertwined. So with that, I tried to be more patient because we do need to build up the revenue, yada yada yada. However, we still got to eat while we're doing this. You know.
Absolutely.
And my thing is, it's not an insurmountable amount of money if you just be consistent.
What
The
did your
inconsistent.
contract say you were supposed to get? Okay, now first of all, how long have you been in this contract?
The contract started June the 1st.
Of this year?
Yes.
Okay, something about that don't sound right. June the 1st of this year, and you were supposed to be paid $72,000 already. That don't even
Right.
sound right.
See, June the 1st, the way we put together was I put together a broadcasting schedule. The very first one started June the 1st, and then each week thereafter, I was
That's
to do a
1 month
lot.
in, hon. But that's only
So
1 month in. What were you doing in 1 month where you were supposed to get paid $72,000?
the broadcast range anywhere from $5,000 each to up to $10,000 each. And then you have
Pursuant
broadcasts
to
on.
y'all's agreement.
Pardon me? Yeah, I'm looking at the contract now on my computer,
Okay.
and there was a broadcast on the first of June. There was three simultaneous broadcasts that's supposed to have taken place in three different locations. Then the
And
second
you
week there was
did
one.
all three locations, correct?
Correct. We have a team that we assemble, a small
Okay.
team and then a bigger team.
Okay. So it makes a little more sense if I have an understanding of that the cost is related to the expenses. Is that right?
Correct. Well,
Because
the
you had to have
expenses was
teams.
separate. This is merely paid
Well,
labor that has not been paid.
I hear what you're saying. Labor is an expense. So now I'm confused.
No, because what happened was when I do the broadcast, is what I get paid, and it's what the laborers get paid. What I'm merely saying is money that's owed to me.
Okay, so your laborers have all been paid, is what you're saying.
Up until last week, yes.
Okay. But so it still doesn't understand. I'm still not clear why. What are you doing that warrants 72K a month?
Each the live streaming broadcast. What
Okay.
happened is when you're doing a professional boxing event, jiu-jitsu, MMA, or whatever, typically I get $5,000 to $7,500 per broadcast.
Okay. And you've had multiple this month, correct? How many
Right.
did you have in the month total?
For the month of June, I had June 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 for June.
Okay.
July, July we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And
Okay.
then August we haven't got to yet.
All right. Now that makes a little more sense because y'all, I have my foundational thing is if I'm if I'm doing a consultation or what have you, if I'm taking in the facts and the facts don't make sense, it's either because I don't have all the facts or somebody's lying. And here, I didn't have the facts, the 14 at 5 approximately each. That makes sense. All right, so fast forward here. So you're going to need what's called a civil attorney in the state. But it's my understanding part of the challenge that you're dealing with is you've got an arbitration agreement in your contract. Is that right?
Correct. Our initial dispute resolution is we must first suggest or participate in arbitration.
Okay. Why did you
Uh,
agree to that?
I try to be less combative.
You're lying. You didn't know what you were agreeing to. Tell the truth.
Well, I actually agreed to it because, like I said, it's a black company. He said all the right things,
What's
and I'm like,
arbitration,
okay,
Michael?
well, I know what I did mediation arbitration for 22 years in Dallas County
Okay.
in family
What,
court. In family
what's the
court,
difference between arbitration, going to arbitration, and going to court?
with the arbitration, he and I both present our facts and evidence, and then someone render a binding final agreement.
How much does it cost?
Uh, I don't know what the cost is for this side of the coin.
You don't know what you're agreeing to.
Yes, ma'am.
You see
That's
what
why I
I'm
reached
saying?
out to you. That's why I
It's
reached out to you.
okay. It's
Pardon me?
okay.
Yes,
It's okay. We just have to be honest with ourselves. Okay.
absolutely.
And so the reason people want to force people into arbitration is because it costs 10 times more than going to court. That's why. Because the cost is so prohibitive, it generally prevents people from exercising their rights. So that's why when you see an agreement that's forcing arbitration, that should be your cue to hire an attorney to review your contract for you as a start. And an additional way to handle it is that you could have that amended to say mediation instead of arbitration. See, mediation could cost you $700. Okay,
Mhm.
arbitration is going to cost you $15,000.
Mm,
So
that I did not know.
that's okay, but that's why he guided you. But that's why I said you didn't know what you were signing because I felt if you did know, you wouldn't have signed it, and that's okay. We make mistakes in contracts all the time. What I'm glad that you have done is you've realized, like, hey, I might be a little over my head here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a consultation. I'm gonna get some help. Somebody said that part, knowledge is power. Yes. I'm the shit said that. And then Tam B said, if my attorney doesn't talk this real with me, then I don't want them. Thank you. You know what? Let me put that on the screen real quick. I started doing this in law school at Cornell, talking very real and honest with my clients. I had a client, and Michael, forgive me, I'm gonna just tell this short story. I was in the criminal law clinic. I love working with my people. And I had this little bitty man, look like Bushwick Bill, who I was assigned to for he was accused of assaulting his girlfriend. Now he was up there. I went to school at Cornell, Ithaca, New York. He was living up there because after Hurricane Katrina, he got displaced there. They actually were sending people, poor people, as far up as Ithaca. And he got with this girl. She was a big fat Caucasian lady. Okay. She was healthy. Okay. She liked the carbs a lot. This is only relevant to the fact of the two of them. She hit him and they got to tussling. He, of course, gets arrested. And he's like, well, she hit me. She was beating on me. I don't believe in calling the cops. And I was like, but she does. Anyway, at court, I'm not at court, but in our consult, it's myself and my partner, which is a white boy at Cornell, sweetie patootie, love him to death. And we get in there, and my client is not understanding why he got arrested when this big girl done jumped on him. And I said, sir, look at you and look at her. Look at you. Look at her. We have an Ithaca, New York jury. Who you think they're about to compromise with? You over here looking like Bushwick Bills from the Ghetto Boys, and she looks like the secretary from the Drew Carey show would have got all the makeup on her face, the big fat girl. I can't remember the girl's name. But I think her name was like Mimi or something. I said, who you think they're going to sympathize with? He said, her. I said, why? He said, because she looked like them. I said, exactly. They don't want you up here. You have no business being up here. So the least they feel you could do is not put your hands on their pretty little white girls. So he understood, and then we went through the case from there. But one thing that I've always done is I try to be as honest with you so that you understand your options. Now, going back to the issue you have right now, which is arbitration. The good news is there are ways around arbitration agreements. Now, I need to get you with somebody who is familiar with civil law and arbitration agreements and working around them. One of the ways that one of my law colleagues, my partners that I use, he's able to get around them is he simply, if you have to do arbitration, he recommends an arbitration entity that is more fair. But here's what I want you to do in the meantime, because I'm not about to play with these people. This is what I like to do. When I'm sick of this, I don't want to pull no punches, especially if I think I'm dealing with a scammer or somebody who's done this stuff a lot. What I do is this. Are you familiar with the 1099-C?
I am not.
Okay.
What's it called? 1099 steep?
C. C is in cat.
Oh, C. Okay.
Yes. You're going to have to 1099-C that butt. Here's what that means. When somebody owes you money, any state in the U.S., what you can do is you file a 1099-C with the total amount of money owed. Now, you and I talked before. The total amount of money from this contract is like $250. If we also include the shares they haven't given you and stuff, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Around $250. So let's say $250. You're going to do your 1099-C and you're going to file it for $250. We're going to file it against this person personally, in addition to the business. We're going to file it against him personally. Here's what that does, and it triggers. And you're also going to send them, one thing you can consider, again, disclaimer, is you consider you'll send them basically a demand letter. Says, look, I'm trying to resolve this with you amicably without having to go to court or arbitration. But you have left me no choice. So because you owe me $250K, I actually have a legal obligation to the United States IRS to notify them of this. So I will be filing the attached 1099-C. What that does is that triggers a tax liability for him. It is no different that if that year he earned $250,000 and didn't pay personal taxes. So you don't respect me? You're not finna run me my money? That's cool. The IRS will come for that. Okay, they're gonna come for that. I literally had to do this. I had a contractor when I first got my condo. I was a single woman. I first got my condo, and he basically ran off with I gave him like $5,000 to finish some stuff he didn't finish. Plus he had the supplies. I sent him one of those letters and the 1099, which I actually filed with the IRS. Baby, they came for him, and he came trying to run me money. He's like, well, what if I just give you the money? Will you call the feds and tell them, will you call the IRS and tell them like everything's cool? And I was like, maybe.
Right.
Send it to me in writing. I would need a cashier's check, blah, blah, blah. I got my money because you don't want to play with the IRS. And I bet he definitely doesn't want to play with the IRS over $250,000. You will go to jail.
Right.
Correct?
Because he always talking about, I'm a public traded company. I need to talk to my back office. And I'm like, bro, I just seen you Zelle the camera crew 10 minutes ago.
Talk to him. We're not playing with people today. So the purpose of my channel, and one of the things I love about my channel is I have a lot of I'm very ADD. I have a lot of random knowledge and information. This gives me an opportunity to share it with you guys. And my hope, hit that like button, y'all, hit that subscribe, is that by watching it, maybe this happens or something similar has happened to a friend or family member. and that you can share this with them and they can have a tip or a trick. All I ask is that you hit the subscribe and the like, but that also you come back here and let me know if you've used any of the tips or tricks that I'm sharing with you, that you let me know how it's worked, because that literally makes me so happy and it helps me get up every morning and do what I do, because I'm not really getting paid for it. So there's that. But hitting that like and that subscribe enables me to do more things. But so Michael, to recap, I want you to use that. So we're going to do a demand letter. I want you to, what we can do is this draft. I want you to draft a demand letter. I can help review it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Where you are demanding the total amount that you're due, you're going to break it down in that letter.
Yes.
And we're going to attach that 1099. I need you to give me that person's full name.
I will do that. I'll send it over to you.
I can get their social security number, because you do need someone's social security number to send that 1099. And then we're going to file on their behinds, because I'm not about to play with these people.
Absolutely.
This is the age of running us our monies. Also, I want you guys to know, anyone in America, if someone owes you more than $600, you can do the same thing. Now, you may need to take the step to obtain their social security number. If it's for this purpose, my firm, which is 8554 Simone, we can obtain that for you. We're going to need like your driver's license. We're going to need you to sign something that says you're not going to use this for fraudulent purposes. If you have an accountant that you're working with, your accountant can reach out to us and we can definitely pull the social security numbers and some EINs in certain circumstances so that you can do this. But what we're not going to let people continue to do is play in our faces that owe us money. And I don't care if this is an ex-boyfriend that owes you money from this, that, and a third. You 1099-C that behind, because it's for any services that were provided over the value of $600. This is also why most people, if you Cash App received or sent, if you've received more than $600 in a year, Cash App will send you this notice. It's because under the law, we are actually supposed to notify the government if we've paid anybody more than $600 in a year. Boom. So this is not extortion. This is not any of those negative things. This is actually you doing what you're supposed to. And also, Jay, I know Jay, I'm gonna bring you back up because I know you're in the back. This is why, Jay, I was like, hey, I want you to stay tuned. If these people keep playing with your money, I want you to do the same thing with them. 1099 their butts for at least the 9,500. I would, in your situation, I would do it for the 9,500 because that's the value of what these people received without giving you what you're entitled to. Does that make sense?
Perfect.
All right. Any final questions for you guys? I see Amir. I see you back here. I'm going to let you join us shortly. Any final questions, gentlemen?
For me, everything is good. Much appreciation, and I follow you closely. So you was the first person I thought about.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. First episode, Sunday service. Each Sunday, call in. Let me know your legal issue. You can actually DM me beforehand so I can get a little bit of more information. That way I can help you more on the chat and make sure we have a bit of a diversity with the matters. But you guys, I hope you enjoy your Sunday and y'all take care. Follow up with me. You got my info.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. I'll send you the text message now.
All right. So, Amir, are you ready? We got Amir Couture. Are you ready?
Yes, I am here.
Yes. Do you have a question or
Yes,
anything?
I have a question.
I'm
It's
ready.
a legal question. I had a slip and fall while I was in Mexico back in March in my hotel room, and because it was at a well-known hotel, I'm not going to say the name of the hotel resort, but when I got there, I came with my walker. I have a mobility issue.
Okay. And you
And
had that issue prior to your slip and fall, correct?
yes. So when I reported to the hotel, I was the first one of the party to get there. So they already knew that I had a walker, and I assumed in my brain when I got there that they were going to change my room to the wheelchair accessible room or handicap accessible room.
Okay.
Because
So I'm assuming you didn't book one, but when you got there, you were hopeful.
yeah, because when I booked it through a group trip.
Okay, no problem.
So I just booked my room.
Understood.
And when we paid it, we paid everything. I paid the remaining balance when I got there, and we got to the room. The room felt like it was a wheelchair accessible unit. When I went into the bathroom, it had a bar in the shower. Like, when you go to a handicap room, they have bars in the showers and stuff, but it had a step to get to the shower.
Hit that like button, y'all. Okay.
So when I went to take my shower on the night before the last day, it was pretty much the last physical day I was going to be there, but the next morning I was leaving.
Okay.
I went to step in the shower and fell and busted my forehead and was stuck between the toilet and the shower.
Okay.
Thank
Now
God my
hold on.
best
Let
friend
me
was
let me
there.
clarify, Amir. So forgive me. I'm going to interrupt and interject just because the questions that I'm going to be asking you are going to help me lead to certain legal conclusions. Okay. So
Okay,
please don't feel that I'm not, I'm not listening or this or that. Now, just want to recap and confirm. The room where you had this fall was not a mobility room, correct?
correct.
Okay. But you had this issue. Was this an American hotel chain?
It was yes.
Okay.
It
It's
had
a chain that has rooms in America and rooms abroad, correct?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Ooh, Amir, you came to the right place. We're twinsies. So if I wasn't wearing a bodysuit, I would show you this permanent scar that I have literally like right here on my hip. It was from me staying at the Marriott Dubai Marina where I was in the hotel and their shower, something I guess was wrong with the hot water heater. That water was so hot it gave me third-degree burns on my body.
I'm
Okay,
about to come on camera because I can show you my face and
show,
my broken glasses.
show me, honey, show me.
Okay,
Hey,
these are the glasses that are broken. They've been broken since March.
oh no, they're great glasses.
And right
Okay,
here under my eye, as you can see,
yeah. Did you have
that's
to get
where,
stitches?
no,
Okay.
the hotel, my best friend that was in my room, she called down to the front desk. They had someone come up. My other best friend that was there, it was his birthday, and he's frantic because he know that I have health issues and have mobility issues. He's running, trying to get the front desk people to come upstairs. They all in my room. They brung their EMT people from the hotel,
Mhm.
and they asked me that I want to go to the emergency room in Mexico. I declined because I knew I was leaving that morning. And I said, I'd rather handle it in the States where my insurance will cover it.
Your
I
health
wasn't,
insurance.
yes,
And that was probably wise because over in Mexico, they sometimes want an exorbitant amount of cash before they can even treat you. So that's okay.
right.
So let's talk about this. That happened in March. I just need to get an idea of your injuries. So your injuries include your face, your broken glasses, hip,
And
leg.
when I fell, it pretty much added more mobility issues.
Got it.
So my legs got weaker.
Understood. So what happens is that what that's called under the law, under personal injury, is called aggravating a condition. So there was a condition that was so maybe you were already on a walker, but with the walker you were okay. But maybe what they've done, it made it worse. Maybe you can't use a walker anymore. Maybe you need a wheelchair more frequently. Things like that. So we can talk about those facts more specifically. But I'm so glad that you came on because so many people think if I am injured at a hotel in another country, I'm just stuck like Chuck. Not true. In my situation, I was able to negotiate some money. It wasn't as much as I would have gotten in America. It wasn't. And that was because I understood. But what happened is because I was American, they negotiated with me and ultimately they gave me like my stay in Dubai, which was for like a week, was free. Interestingly, I actually lost a friend from that because she felt like I should have given her my settlement. Yeah. But that's fine. I'm okay. I don't need stupid people in my life. Like if I need to give you my, and I was like, but you didn't get burned. And she was like, well, you should have got it because they reimbursed you for the room. Because I was burned. Because I was burned. But that's also where I realized just because they're pretty doesn't mean they're smart.
Right.
But in your situation, more specifically, we can get some more information. Call my office on Monday, 855-4-SIMONE. We'll get some additional information. Where are you based?
I'm based out of New Jersey.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. I started practicing in Newark. That was like my first place of practice at a firm right there off McCarter Highway. And I used to live in Broad Street.
I know exactly. I went to school on Broad Street and I lived in East Orange, Irvington area for a short time.
There we go. So, but I say all that to say we want to get you with a good personal injury attorney that's based in your state, but that has familiarity with the hotel chain. So what I'm going to do when you give me your information, here's what I do. I go back to my network of attorneys. I actually do a bit of research and I find out, for example, if I have anyone in my network who's already gotten great, strong settlements against your same hotel chain. Why? Because when we sue them again, after we done beat the brakes off of them, they're like, oh shit, here comes Simone. I literally have had a situation where I settled so many. It was hip litigation for defective hips, defective knees, those companies, where they literally tried to get me and my firm to sign an agreement that said we wouldn't represent nobody else against them because we beat the brakes off of them. And I was like, hey, stupid. That's illegal. It's literally
1-800
855-4-SIMONE. Simone is with a Y.
Okay, I got it.
Yes, because it's literally illegal to ask an attorney to not represent someone. Many people don't realize that. Or to enter into an agreement to not represent someone, because legal rights are so important that under the law, you should never contract away that right. So yes, someone said, yep. Tim had asked, am I going to do this every Sunday around 3 Eastern? So the answer is yes. So I'm going to do it after brunch on Sundays. I'm going to be doing these Sunday service is what I'm going to call it, because it's how I give pro bono service, sharing legal things. Again, note the disclaimer. But Amir, you got my number. You can ask. Let me give you the number.
Question.
Okay, go for it. I'm ready.
I contacted maybe 3 different attorneys.
Okay.
I contacted a well-known attorney by the Stark and Stark Group, and I contacted a couple other well-known companies. They all told me I would have to get an international
attorney. Okay.
If that was the case, why wouldn't they just refer me to? Because the hotel has hotels in the United States and abroad, all over the world.
And so it can't. So the truth is, because your injury did happen there, technically that might be true, right? As far as if you needed to go to trial. But because it's an international chain, what happens is they still have insurance adjusters. They still have the fundamental things that we can work with to negotiate. That's why I gave my personal experience. I was with the Marriott chain, and Marriott still was negotiating with me. They were accepting my medical bills. They were going, you see what I'm saying? So I feel like with this being Sunday service and all, God like brought us together today because I have literally been in your shoes. So we're going to figure this out. So the answer is the way that you approach it, the way you handle it is that is true. Fundamentally, if you were going to go to trial, it would need to be there. However, getting an attorney who has previously worked against and won against that firm may make that attorney feel more comfortable with working with what's called the claims adjusters. Because what happens is many don't realize it doesn't just go to a lawyer. First, it goes to a claims adjuster. Just like if you were in a car accident and you hit somebody, right? That person's lawyer just don't call you up on the phone and be like, we're going to see you in here. No, the claims adjuster for their insurance, their insurance company or whatever is going to call your insurance company's claim adjuster and try and work it out. That's what we do here.
Okay.
All right. And Tam had a question. Oh, thank you, Tracy Renee, for the super chat. I love watching the show. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Also, you guys, can y'all hit that like and subscribe? My goal this month, share it with a friend, y'all, is to get to 22,000 subscribers by the end of July. That would be amazing. And we've got TMD. So if you have limited mobility and patronize an establishment that lacks accommodations, you can still sue if you're injured. How? Great question. So the answer is we need more facts. It's always going to be we need more facts, because a component of it is going to be when you speak to the people. Like, these are some of the questions that I'm going to ask behind the scenes, right? It's going to be, all right, well, when you speak to the front desk, did they say, oh, your room will be just fine? I've heard that more than once. I have heard rooms say, or the hotel say, oh, well, we'll get you to a room where you can have an elevator. We'll get you. Amir, have you ever experienced that? Where they're like, oh,
yes, they always make sure my room is next to the elevator. I'm usually on a lower floor, closer to the first floor, or on the second floor, where I'm able to get downstairs if I need to get upstairs. So it's always been that. And even with this particular hotel, they gave me a room right next to the elevator, literally 4 floors up. I didn't have to go far for anything.
Right. And here's why, Tam. Here's why. Some hotels you're supposed to have a certain number of handicap accessible rooms available, right? If those hotels don't have it, how would we know? You would never know unless there was some handicap convention that came to that hotel, which will never happen. So what happens is sometimes, and I know this because my mom's best friend was a quadriplegic, so they would hang out, and sometimes this would be an issue. And so, Tam, what could be an issue is, for example, if the hotel did not have the requisite number, and every country has a requisite number, even Mexico. So let's say for every 100 rooms, you have to have 10 mobility accessible rooms. If they don't have that, that could be part of the problem. So what I say is, what we always do is we look into all of the facts before we tell someone that they have a strong case. So that's why I do the disclaimer. I'm not saying you have a strong case. I'm not saying you have a weak case. I'm saying we're going to get into the facts, because what we're not going to do is say, just because it happened in another country, there's nothing we can do. We can still look into it. And also, if you say, hey guys, I need a mobility room, the hotel has an obligation to either say, we have none, or what commonly happens and what they do, because they won't show money, is they say, oh, we'll give you another room that's just like it. You'll be fine. Amir, what was communicated to you at the front desk when you asked if they had a mobility room?
I never really asked.
Okay, well, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, when I got there,
part of your obligation.
Yeah, so that's when I first got there, they had to help me up the steps, and they was asking, fill out the forms for me to get into the room, the resort.
What form? Like the one to get your wristband and things like that.
Yeah, the check-in.
When you saw there wasn't a thing to hold on to in the shower.
It was a bar in the shower. That's why I assumed it was a handicap accessible unit, because they had the bar. I have a bar in my own shower.
That's fair.
So I thought that's what I assumed. But they know that was it. They just changed my room when I got there. That's what I assumed.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying
I want to encourage Tam, because this is the place to ask those questions, right? So we ask questions like this. This is not considered disrespectful. It's not considered victim blaming, any of that. But because this is where you come, we do legal tea. We get into the facts, but we also infotain ourselves, right? We learn information and we entertain. So I'm so glad that you asked that, because that also allows Amir to elaborate, which was that, Amir, you didn't state, hey, I want a handicap room. You walked up, you felt like because of the way that they helped you, that it was an unspoken obvious. Is that fair to say?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's why I use
obvious.
the word assumed.
Okay, fair enough. And when you saw the room that you had the handicap accessible
Bar.
you were like, oh, okay. Now, if the room did not have the handicap accessible bar in the shower, what would you have done?
I would have called down to the front desk or went back downstairs to ask them, do they have another room that has a wheelchair or handicap
Gotcha.
accessible room? Because they picked me up from the beach, from the pool, from the restaurant in a wheelchair every time I called.
Fair
And
enough.
back to my room. The whole
Thank you,
5 days I
Mr.
was
Yeah.
there.
Okay, understood. So yeah, all these things go into it. This is why I love my job and I do what I do. And then we've got Jay and Michael. If you guys get bored, if you want to pull out, that's fine. You can pull out without ending the stream. So I just want to make sure you know that. But I really appreciate y'all watching and practicing. Oh, L. Williams says, wish I had known this info about the 1099-C. If you just joining, you want to rewind, see what I just talked about. The 1099-C, I was talking about when people owe you money, whether it was a contract, an ex-boyfriend, a cousin, or whoever. When they owed you money and they refuse to pay you, you drop that 1099-C on their behind. Because what that does is it reports to the IRS that, oh, this is so important, that this person, I have paid this person money for something, and then that person has to pay taxes. But hold on, Jay and Michael, even better, it allows you to deduct it on your taxes. Hold on, so let me add Jay real quick. Amir, I know you're here. Jay.
I'm listening because I'm getting information. So
that's okay. Jay, unless you take this on your taxes, Michael, same thing. Michael, I know you're muted, but Michael, how's it gonna feel if you could legally deduct the $270 on your taxes that you were supposed to get paid?
Right. When you was sitting there talking, I thought about, it's like, wow, I did the mathematics and it comes up to 320,000 that I sent him. That's for a new company who just got funding and trying to get public trading. That's a nice little scar to his
Right.
investors that he's not going to like.
No, exactly. Now, you absolutely want to talk with your tax preparer about this. So don't take my word for it exclusively. You want to talk with them on how it works, because if this is income to them, like basically this is a loss to you. Y'all, it's no different than if you've ever had, let's say you had a credit card and you didn't pay on your credit card and they charge it off. They do the same thing to the government. When they charge off, let's say it's your $10,000 Visa, they send one of these to the government. That lets Visa take that $10,000 off on their taxes. So if Visa can do it, we can all do it who have been owed money to ourselves. Same thing, because Jay, you've lost this 15,000 or whatever it is from the company that wrapped your car incorrectly and has caused you these losses. So I just want to be clear on that for you guys. We're going to wrap. I'm actually going to just quickly speak to, I'm going to pull you guys down. I just wanted to make sure you knew that. Here we go. And then real quick, I got another super chat. I'm super excited. Thank you, Tracy, $5. She's asking, can my daughter send a 1099 and demand letter to make her landlord and have her get, baby, don't get me comfortable. Baby, not only you want to do that in Manhattan. So I was initially licensed. The first place I got licensed after Cornell was New York, New Jersey. And one of the things that I did, because I was practicing during the pandemic, I did a lot of pro bono work helping people get their security deposits back. Now, you want to Google the law again, but my understanding is that if the landlord hasn't given her money back within, it's either 14 days or 30 days, he owes her triple. So we're not about to play with this man. You need to do the 1099 and a demand letter and demand the triple, because what the landlord is supposed to provide you with, Miss Tracy, is a itemized bill of all of the deductions that he is taking to justify not giving you back your security deposit. And if you don't get that by the deadline, which I said is either 14 days or 30 days, you have to Google it. he's required to run you your money. I don't care if he gives it to you on the 15th day or the 31st day, like the day after the deadline, you get treble damages is what that's called. And if you got to hire a lawyer to get you your money, you got to pay your lawyer's fees too. Sorry to the landlord. So yes, Miss Tracy, again, contact my office, 855 for Simone. Reach out to us and we can try and link you with someone who handles those kind of things in Manhattan. All right. All right. There we go. All right. So Amir, and wrapping up your situation, which was a slip and fall that you had in Mexico at a U.S. hotel chain, do you have any final questions before we conclude?
Yeah. Back to the creditor situation, you were saying something about that. How do creditors write off your chart, like your credit?
Whatever you owe them on your credit.
Yeah.
They do a 1099, baby. 1099 fee.
And then they send it to a law firm, and the
Yes.
law firm is trying to collect it from you.
Yes.
And then they send, all of a sudden, now you have a lien on your name, and they're garnishing your checks.
So,
what can you do about that?
What state are you based?
New Jersey.
Okay, yeah, that's right. You said that, New Jersey. So I don't remember what New Jersey. So what that means is that there was some kind of court case you didn't show up to, that they got a default judgment and they're garnishing pursuant to the default judgment. So what you would need to do is you'll need to figure out, did you ever get notice of whatever that court case was? If you didn't, then you'll need to hire a lawyer to reverse the process so that there's no longer a garnishment. Yeah.
Okay. I did get that off of my employer's website. I got the court information, well, the lien information.
There you go.
I just didn't know what to do with it.
There you go. All right. All right, Amir. We'll be in touch.
Thank you.
And have a good Sunday.
You too, the same. Bye-bye.
All right. Okay. All right. We have another question here. What do we got here? What can you do if you sued a person over your car? I won the case, never got my money, $5,000. It's been a few years now, and I haven't received the funds. Don't know what to do. All right. So, Sashay, what I would recommend is contact me to get you a background check done. Here's why. One of the things that I do in the background checks is I find assets. If we find the assets of this person, and then the other thing you need to do is you need to file a lien in the lien records. Why? If this person ever comes into any money, they get hit by a bus, hit by a car, whatever. Once you have a lien on file, you can then garnish money, wages, garnish money from their bank accounts. So that's what you want to do. Also, with the background check, it's going to allow you to find out what assets does this person own. And what many people forget is if anybody owns a property, I don't care if it's their homestead or whatever, but if they own a property and you have a judgment against them, first of all, at this point, judgments are accruing interest at 8% a year every year. Baby, I own a title company. This broadcast has been brought to you by ExperienceTitleLLC.com, which is my title company. Frequently, I will have people who are trying to close on a property. It doesn't matter if you are the buyer or the seller, but specifically if you're the seller. If anybody got a judgment against you, when you get ready to sell, you can keep all the sales money. You have to satisfy that judgment and all of the interest. So in your situation, let's say it's been $5,000. If your judgment was put in the records properly, you get that $5,000 plus you get 8% interest every year. Baby, that's better than some people's 401ks are getting right now. You get 8% interest every year, and that person cannot buy or sell a home or even refinance a property until they pay you. I'm talking if they get married, let's say they're going to get a property with their spouse, their new husband, new wife, whatever. Because a lot of people with messed up credit can't never get nothing on their own. They wait till they get a man and then be like, all right, well, they can't get a house with a man until they pay you. So that would be the best recommendation. And also, I believe it's like 2 years back that you can go to do the 1099 fee that I was talking about. Somebody said, mechanic, I sued the property and him, never received the money. Yeah, you're going to need a separate, if you never got the money, you're going to need a separate kind of attorney that does garnishments and stuff like that. Because the other thing they can do is they can find his bank account. So for example, if you know that person works somewhere, then you can have a private investigator confirm, when does this company do direct deposits? Is it every Friday? Is it the 1st and the 15th? Whatever it is. And then locate that person's bank accounts and literally put in a garnishment so that the day, like if that money hits on the 15th, boom, they done took everything out that account. You're welcome. Simone B says, my landlord lied and I have a video. He was crooked from the start and that's why I moved. It absolutely happens. All too common. The classic one says all too common. Landlords love to keep renters money for BS reasons. It's so sad. That's why you gotta hold them accountable, because baby, once you get them straight, once you do this to them the first time, and I love when I used to do it back at my law firm independent, because we did it for free. We did it through legal aid. So if you feel like you might qualify for legal aid, contact legal aid, tell them this is your matter. Then they actually pair you with attorneys like myself, or they actually pair you with like young attorneys at huge law firms who have the resources and so forth. And then that law firm pairs them with like a more senior attorney and they get your matter handled for free. Right. Liens are very key. Oh, thank you, community. Thank you to the Texas Legal Eagle, Red Wine. All right. Thank you, guys. All right. It's Sunday. I need to go relax. I'm about to go to the pool and chill. But if there's any other topics you want me to cover, put them in the chat. Oh, wait a minute. Real quick. We have to talk about your very questionable presidential candidate, Trump. I want to hear, do y'all think that it was a true assassination attempt, or, and I'm plugging in my phone, or do you think it was a setup? So I've seen different comments. I've seen some that say, oh, there's no way, switch it up, that there's no way that that this could have been staged in this way. Oops, hold on. There's no way it could have been staged like this. And like, oh, it had to be real. But at the same time, it was really suspicious to me that he falls down. There's no blood anywhere when he gets hit. But he goes down, he hits his head, and all of a sudden comes up and he's hit. Now, some reports have said he wasn't actually hit with a bullet, that he was hit by glass. So like the bullet hit a screen, some type of computer screen that was there, and the glass from that shattered and hit him. But what is that? Simone, what do you think? Oh, I think this was part of his entire campaign dramatics. I don't put it past him. I don't trust anything about him. And I feel like if this is what turned your meter to say, okay, yes, I'm going to vote for him, I question your logic even more, because this is what I say to people who are on the cusp, who don't really know who they want to vote for. What I say to them is, do you like the current rulings of the Supreme Court? Do you like the ban on abortion? Do you like the ban on women's access to saving their lives in the events of, a carrying a child that's dead in your body, and then you can't simply get that child removed. You've got to carry it for months and months. Some women have actually suffered the fact that because of the abortion laws and the fact that doctors wouldn't treat them, they no longer can have future children because they couldn't simply get the dead baby removed. If you think that's okay, then those are people who may want to continue voting for him. If any bit of that makes you say, I don't know if I want that for my grandchildren, then you need to vote Biden. You don't have to like Biden, but here's what you have to like. You have to like your kids. You have to like your grandkids, and you have to like the possibility of a future. The reason being is because Trump has said when he gets elected, if he gets elected, he wants to appoint federal Supreme Court justices, federal court judges who are 25 to 35 years old. First of all, that means they don't know anything, because you generally graduate from law school at 25. But what that means is that they're going to make laws for the next 3 to 4 generations of people. Every 20 years is considered a generation. So, and You can never be pulled from the Supreme Court. It is a lifetime appointment. So we know Caucasian people live till they're 85, 90 years old. So if you get on at 25, what is that, 85, 25? 65 years old, that is, what is that, 3 generations, 4 generations of people? Right. If you don't like it, then you should vote Biden. Because the other part of this is when Trump was elected, he put 3 Supreme Court justices in place, and he intentionally picked people in their 40s. He picked young Supreme Court justices and continues and intends to do the same when he continues. There are 2 justices, Clarence Thomas and one others, that says if Trump's elected, they are going to retire. That means instead of just the 3, there's going to be 2 more, which will be 5, plus the other conservatives, that's going to be 7. That means they're going to take away rights to things like birth control. They're going to take away rights to things like if the police shoot me in the back of my head as I'm walking away, the police can be held accountable. They won't. He specifically said he believes that police should be able to beat you like Rodney King with no ramifications. So even if you don't like Biden, if you don't like what the Supreme Court's doing right now, that's why you should vote Biden. Think about the Supreme Court, because the other thing you have to remember is the president doesn't just pick the Supreme Court, he picks every single federal judge. And here's the difference between federal court judges and state. Federal court judges are for life. You cannot get them out. You can't get them out. So your lower court, so your district court that decides, am I going to give this person that's got like a weed charge, am I going to give them life or am I going to give them something else? That district court judge that Trump puts in, they're against weed, they're against a variety of things, but they get to stay there for life no matter what they do. As well as the appeals court, no matter what they do. You can't take right now. There are allegations that Clarence Thomas should be removed from overseeing some of the January 6th cases due to the fact that his wife is a supporter of those people and allegedly helped plan it. You know what Clarence Thomas said? Make me, because we can't. So I get it. Biden's old. He's kind of weird. There are issues there. But at least you know your kids have the chance of having certain rights. We've lost affirmative action. We've lost the right to choose. In many states, if you're R-worded and you're a 13-year-old, you still, even if your family is totally supportive of you not having that baby, you still have to have it. Because they say, babies, yeah, you should have it. Like, you should have it because that's what the conservatives want. So these are the kinds of things where you have to say, is that what you want for your grandkid? If not, because these people will make the rules for the next 75 years, then that is a reason to vote for Biden, even if he gets on your last nerves. That's what I would suggest. In addition, we've got affirmative action. If you want to make a little bit more money, let's just start there. Every year, the Democrats have tried to increase minimum wage. Every year, the Republican says no. So if there's nothing else that I encourage you, if you want to make more money next year than you did this year, then I would encourage you to vote Biden. And finally, think of it this way. This is the most concrete example I can give. 20 years ago, teacher salary in every state averaged $69,000. The house average cost of a home was like $129,000. Today, the average cost of a home is $400,000 and teacher average salary is $72,000. So it's only gone up about $2,000 to $3,000, but home costs have tripled. That's because every time we try to increase minimum wage, we can't. We can't. The federal government is unable to do so because of the Republicans. That's why if you look at different states, some states have a higher minimum wage, and those are generally blue states. California, New York, Red states have the lowest minimum wage because they keep saying things like, oh, you shouldn't get paid $15 an hour to bag groceries. You're right, you won't be, because bagging groceries is now done by us, the consumer. So I say that to say, if you want a better chance at just raising your kids and surviving, then you need to go with a party that believes in paying people more than they're getting right now, increasing minimum wage, and not increasing everything for the companies. Remember, the Republican Party philosophy is make it easy for the corporations, then they'll pay everybody more. That's a freaking lie. We've already seen that's a lie. If that were the case, minimum wage would not be $2 more than it was when I was in high school. And I ain't a spring chicken. When I was in high school, minimum wage was $5.25. Today, it's $7.25. Pursuant to inflation, it should be over $20. Yes. L. Williams says they've been reading Project 2025 and it's wild. Thank you, Etha. She said, hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you. I beat a shit. But Etha says we need more voices like Simone's. Thank you. Make sure to like and hit that subscribe video. Yes, the Senate has never removed the Supreme Court justice. It's for life. And I say you don't even have to be a Democrat to be like, I need to vote Biden for my grandkids. You know what? If you want to keep it a secret, put it in your pocket. Don't tell nobody at your church. That's your business. But if you want your grandkids to have any shot at a retirement, if you want any shot at retirement, you've got to vote Democrat in this. I won't even say other than Republican, because you can't vote independent. An independent vote is a Republican vote. And also remember, not voting is a vote for the Republicans. The Republicans have two strategies: get you to vote for Trump or get you to not vote at all. Because truthfully, when you don't vote, it ends up increasing his votes. So I know it was a tangent, but we needed to get there, guys. And if you have a friend or family member, even a little cousin, a little teenager, college student, there's no reason. You guys, we have to remember, growing up, there was that goofy little show, Married with Children. The husband was a shoe salesman and the wife was a stay-at-home wife. Under the current regime, because of the way the Republicans have blocked pay increases year after year, show me the last shoe salesman that can even buy a house, more or less have a stay-at-home wife. But I literally grew up in an economy where you could have a single family income where the dad or mom had no degree, was working a sales job, and even managed a grocery store. That's not a thing anymore. Today, if you manage all the grocery store, you're making like $50K. If you're managing a Walmart, it might be $100, but we are still struggling because of all of the other expenses, health insurance, et cetera, et cetera. So what I'm saying, yes, New York and New Jersey minimum wage is $15 and $16. That's still not enough for you to qualify for an apartment without a roommate. That's a problem, because we used to live in a country where you could get an apartment on your own on minimum wage. And that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Should you be able to live, in the neighborhood of your dreams? No, not necessarily. Choices have consequences. But you shouldn't be struggling in the way that we are. And we should be able to have dual income families where neither parent has a college degree and you can still buy a home. And I believe that with my heart and my soul in the average American community, because more than likely, those are the people that are, in your communities. Everyone doesn't have a degree. You should be able to have a husband and wife who, one of them may work at a factory and the other one may work for Amazon or whatever. Amazon in the grocery store, somebody work at Forever 21 as a manager of the store, and somebody else work at Home Depot. Y'all can still get a home. You don't have to rent for the rest of your lives in an apartment that's 1,000 square feet with your 3 kids. So thank you, Tracy. I really appreciate that again. On that note, I'm going to get off my little soapbox. Please down below in the comments. Let me know what other topics you want me to cover this week. We can certainly cover the Alec Baldwin case. And I think I want to cover Drea's lawsuit over her multi-million-dollar oral contract with her ex-boyfriend while living in his home and getting pregnant with her current baby, where she is where she's facing eviction, trying to fight that off while at the same time be able to keep her home. So it's actually really fascinating. I actually side with Drea on this one. And if you want to hear more in the comments below, let me know in the comments. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and we'll go from there. See y'all later this week.